This is my current cook system, and I'm thinking about replacing it. I've been using the majority of this system and perfecting it over the last 3 years. But here recently, I've been given the opportunity to check out some new gear, and I think I might be ditching my old setup. First, let me introduce you to what I got. So basically my entire system setup here, first and foremost, is wrapped up with my X band, which I absolutely love. It holds everything in place. I'm going to introduce you guys to the pot first. All right, this is the TOAKS 750 milliliter pot. It holds everything that I need as far as a backpacking stove. Right inside of it, it has titanium lightweight handles, and it also comes with a titanium lid that has a little triangle hanger style thing with 3 little holes in it, which I don't currently have because I ditched it because I don't use it. This current cook system I have been using in the backcountry and on backpacking trips for about the last 3 years. I have set this system up and I have paired it together with my Pocket Rocket 2 stove, and it's just a basic stove. It's a simple stove. I've used some other stoves, but I still keep going back to this one, and it has served me well. It's a product made by MSR, and it's been a serviceable stove. I've rather enjoyed using this stove. Now there's a couple other components that I use with my current cook system, and the first thing is my little titanium pot lifters. Now the reason why I use some pot lifters with my stove is because the titanium handles here, when you're using it on this stove, the flames come up and the handles get just as hot as the pot, so you're unable to handle the pot. So I will use my titanium pot lifters in order to take the pot up off of the heat and pour it into my backpacking meal, my coffee cup, whatever exactly that I'm utilizing that for. Now, I have made the mistake of putting my titanium pot lifters on the pot while cooking, and they get hot too, so definitely don't make that mistake. But there's a couple other things that I wind up putting together with this system. I keep this rag inside of my stove wrapped around my gas can so that I don't get any type of rust rings and anything in there. But I can also use this as a pot lifter if I wanted to, although not as stable. It can slip and slide inside of my hand when I use any type of pot lifters like that. And I've also paired this together with my Sea to Summit X cup or X mug, and that's basically just a foldable mug. And this is the reason why I don't use the lid, is because I collapse this down. I put this on top of my system as the lid, wrapped it around with my X band. Also with this setup, since it does not have an igniter, I do have to carry a Bic lighter with me. Although I think I would carry one of these as a backup no matter which stove I'm using, even if it has an igniter, just in case. Man, this has been a fantastic system. I've absolutely loved this system in the backcountry. However, I have been introduced to a newer system that I think is not only going to be more efficient, but I do like the features of it even better than what I'm currently using. Introducing the Fire Maple 600 milliliter aluminum cook pot. Now, the reason why this pot caught my eye is not because of only the design features, but also because the increased safety in the backcountry that it provides. Let me tell you about it. The big difference between this pot and the TOAKS 750 milliliter pot that I've been using is right here underneath the pot. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see 3 slots that basically lock the stove into the bottom of the pot, therefore making it less likely for you to be able to tip over. And you know that I've done this in the past. On one of my trips, I accidentally tipped over my TOAKS pot, spilling boiling water onto my leg, causing burning blisters that I had to leave the backcountry for. So not only is this pot more safe, but it also has these heat diffusers underneath that also makes it more efficient. Let's get into some of the other features that I love about this pot. First and foremost, it comes with a handle that pulls out and away from the pot that also has a rubber coating. Now, the advantages of this versus that is because the handles come out and they have the rubber coating, I don't need anything to lift this pot up off the heat as far as using a cloth or using a pot lifter or anything like that. And I can grab this pot directly as hot as it is and make my pours and everything that I need to do. The next thing that I really love about this pot is the design of the lid. Now, with the TOAKS lid, I immediately ditched it. It didn't have any features that I would actually keep and want to use. But what I do love about this lid is not only does it have, again, a safe little handle for me to be able to grab even when the pot is hot, but it also has 3 little slots in the lid right there so that if I needed to strain something, I could put my finger on that and I could pour whatever I wanted to out of there, straining maybe my ramen noodles. Maybe I don't like as much liquid. And so that makes it a really, really cool feature to have on a cook pot. Now I'm also going to be pairing this pot with one of Fire Maple stoves. They've also sent me the Green Peak stove. Now what I love about this stove is it's only 3 ounces, and I love the ease of use of the arms and how they flip up so easily and efficiently for me to be able to utilize this stove. And I love the way that it has almost like a wind guard here on the base of the stove, and the way that it's designed and shaped that it puts a lot more heat to the bottom of the pot. And as you see, the stove locks right into the bottom of the pot there. Therefore, when locked into my gas canister, making it a lot more stable of a setup. Now, let's compare these 2 setups and see how they perform. All right, the first test, volume, 750 milliliters versus a 600 milliliter pot. So currently this is completely filled up. I'm going to try to do this without spilling any water. I'm going to take all of the water from my 750 milliliter pot and I'm going to pour it into my 600 milliliter pot. That's very interesting. This boasts 750 milliliters, which should be more than this, but there is literally at least a half an inch less space or more space in this one than there is in this one. So as far as volume goes, the Fire Maple pot has more volume at 600 milliliters than the TOAKS 750 milliliter pot. That's very interesting. Round 1 goes to the Fire Maple. Okay, for round 2, we're going to test how fast I can get these things to boil. I have equally filled the pots both up with 400 milliliters of water to allow a little room for boiling and not boiling over since I'm inside. And let's put them to the test. Let's start first with the old TOAKS 750 milliliter pot. Well, there you go. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to boil 400 milliliters of water in my TOAKS 750 milliliter pot. Well, there you go. The Fire Maple boiled the water in 1 minute and 53 seconds. Well, round 2 definitely goes to the Fire Maple. It is definitely more efficient at boiling water. All right, now let's do a feature comparison. So with the TOAKS 750 milliliter pot, you have the foldable handles that are attached to the pot, but also cannot be used without the addition of a pot grabber or something to grab the handles with. It also comes with a titanium lid with the 3 little holes and a little teeny triangular setup that I really don't know what good that does it whatsoever. However, that is the pot there. The features of the Fire Maple petrol pot is it has not only the heat diffusers underneath that makes it more efficient, but it also comes with a lid that has several features that I do like. First and foremost, having the rubber handle on the top that allows me to be able to lift it off even if boiling. But I also like this feature here, the handle being that I can lift it directly off of a boiling pot and not have to worry about grabbing pot lifters or a rag or anything like that. And it's very, very stable. I have full control of the pot. I don't have to worry about dropping it. No matter kind of how I grab it, I still feel like I have full control of the pot. But my favorite feature right here is a luxury, and that's being able to utilize the pot lid as a strainer by being able to hold the handle and put my finger on the rubber and being able to strain out whatever I want, whether it be ramen, cowboy coffee, or just any other liquid that I want to strain from the pot. Makes it clean and simple. So as far as feature goes, I have to give the Fire Maple Petrol the win. Now let's compare the features of these two stoves. Now my MSR Pocket Rocket II is one of the stoves that I've utilized because I love the efficiency of it, but I have never loved the design of how I have to fold these things down. And the reason why is because I can never figure out the angle and the way that they turn. That's the way that it goes into my pot, and the handle, sometimes I have to turn it back to where it's slightly open in order to fit it, and you see how it doesn't like to stay, and sometimes it'll pop open in the pot and things like that. As far as the efficiency goes, I've never thought I had a problem with efficiency on this until I wound up using the combination of those two, and I think that it might be the combination of those two that's making it way more efficient. Let me show you guys a little bit about what I like on the features of the Green Peak stove. Right, first and foremost, being able to fold the handles in and out is quick and easy. They only move in one direction. With the MSR Pocket Rocket 2, they move in two different directions in order to fold down. So this is super simple and easy for me to set up. So I know it's minute, but I do like that feature. I also like the large bowl that you see where the fire comes out, and I think that provides a lot more heat to a lot more area of the bottom of the pot, therefore making it a little bit more efficient. I also love the fact that it has the built-in igniter, and I don't have to carry a lighter with me, although I probably would as a backup anyway, but I have the option to go out there without it if I want to. Now, the biggest thing that I really like about the Fire Maple Green Peak stove is what's different about this from this is you see that the circular design of the bottom of the Fire Maple there locks completely into the bottom of the gas canister. All right. And it also has this rubber ring here so that as I'm attaching my gas canister and removing my gas canister, the gas doesn't shoot out as I'm connecting it like it does when I'm using that one where the rubber ring is on the inside of the connector, not on the exterior. This one has one on the interior and the exterior. So that also makes it not lose as much gas when I'm connecting and disconnecting my stove. So I really, really, really like that feature. But probably the biggest thing that I do like about this stove versus this stove is the efficiency that we just found out. I mean, being able to boil water in 1 minute and 20 seconds faster means I'm going to be using less gas, therefore spending less money when I'm taking a trip in the back country. So as far as features go, I think Fire Maple wins round 3. You know, the coolest part about all of this is that you can pick and choose the items that work for you when it comes to backpacking. For instance, you can mix and match things like the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 actually fits perfectly inside of the stove as well, and so you could combine those two things. The lid off of the Fire Maple Petrol fits on the TOAKS pot as well, so if you prefer one over the other, you like the lid on this one but you like the pot on that one, you can mix and match. However, I do think that I'm going to be replacing my old system, or at least most of my old system, including no longer going to need that guy. This will now go in my ditty bag as a backup and not have to be inside of my cook pot. My new system, which is going to be the Fire Maple Petrol along with the Green Peak stove. But I am going to keep parts of my old system, like my rag along top of my gas canister so that it doesn't leave any type of rust rings inside of my pot. I can now drop my stove right in the top of there, and the lid goes on like that. Fold that on top, but I also want to keep my cup because I absolutely love this as a coffee cup. It's so super portable. Yeah, so I could just drop my pot into the top of my cup right there, and then we can add the X-band right over the top here to wrap everything nicely into place and keep it from falling apart inside of my backpack. So there you go, guys. I think I've found me a new backpacking cook system that I think I'm gonna get a lot of joy and use out of. Guys, I'm gonna put links to all of the things that you've seen here in the video below, so check those out. If you haven't already, please like this video, leave a comment below. Maybe there's a cook system that I haven't considered or something that maybe you use that you really enjoy. I'd love to check that out. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out in growing things as we approach that 10,000 member mark, and we want to get there very soon. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.